Alright, so let's do some color sanding buffing, the way I do it. Of course, I did get a run right here near this thing because I'm shooting to try and get that to cover under there. Really hard to paint around these hinges. A lot of guys will take the doors off just because of that. And that's their deal. If they want to do it that way, that's great, you know. But what I do is you do not take your razor blade. I had a little run right here. I've already scraped it off, but I'm just going to show you what not to do first. Is you don't take your razor blade and try and peel the run off. Sometimes just the very head of it, just the one little drip. It's just like a sag right here. If you try, you can just kind of take the head off and that's it with this, doing it that way. But what you do is you hold your razor blade this way and you scratch it off. So you take, there's still a little bit left there. I just kind of scratch it off. You scratch off the high, okay? Then the rest of it, what I do is once I get it down to where it's not really high, not sky and high, I feel a little high spot right here. Then I go through, use my wet sandpaper, and we'll do all that. So what I do is I just go around the whole thing. I look for any runs. I go around and do them all like that first. And there was a few. There's quite a few little ones, and sometimes more than others. Sometimes I don't get any, you know. Sometimes it just all depends. There's another one here. I was going upward. You can see it was going down. Let's see if you can see with the light. So it's kind of going droopy down here. You can see that. If you can. But anyway, just grab. It was going downward, and I just scratch off that little bit there. Some guys will do this. Sometimes they'll you can take filler, put filler over it, and then sand the filler, wet sand it. I don't like doing that. It's not my way to do it. So again, if you guys are new to the channel, it was 120 degrees. The panel was when I painted these, so that's what we ended up with. A lot of paint flaws, but it can all be fixed. It's just, it's easier if you get a better spray job. Always trying to get a better spray job than this. Alright, so I got my little bucket, got my microfiber cloth, some water, use that to kind of rinse things off. Then I have it's my DA. This is I think it's a 3/32 DA. It's a really fine orbit. So if you have too much orbit in your sander, I wouldn't recommend using a DA. It's up to you if you want to try it. But I use a really fine sander. This is in Hutchins, really expensive sander. But they all, I think the Aircat would do about the same. But I happen to have 5-inch. I got this really cheap stuff. I got a deal on it. Orion USC stuff. It's 1200 grit. 1500 might be better, but I happen to have 1200, so I'm going to use that. And the thing is about this is it's white, so if I do get some swirls in it, you won't see it. If you're interested, they have these 3M pads. This is extra thick foam one. It kind of helps to not knock out, do too much. Or if you have a little bit bad body work or something like that, sometimes I'll flip into that. And then what I'll do is I'll switch over to this Mirka Abralon. What these are is they're foam stuff here. So what I'll do is I'll go from 1200, then I'll go back to the Mirka 1000, not the 2000, the 1000, and I'll go over that and I'll use my other DA, my Aircat, just because it's already set up for the thing. I think it has the same orbit as this one. So the Aircat sander is pretty good for everything, actually. I use it for almost everything except for, it's just not really fast sanding, so I have a different sander for that. If I just like stripping something, I'll use another sander. But it's really accurate. This one here, you put that on wet, okay, and it's a cloth. If you can look at the fibers here, it's cloth. And what it does is this, if you go back to 1000, and what that'll do is that will take out the marks from this one, and then you go back to 2000 or 3000 or 4000, depending on how nice you want to make it. Or some guys even go to 5000, depending on what you want to do. And you finish with the Abralon pad. So you just work your way up 1000. Like I finish out at 2000, probably for this white. It'll be more than enough. And then I'll move into Menzerna polish. Menzerna or Cremex. These both have really similar properties. CSI Cremex is a 1 polish. You can use this and it comes out beautiful. You don't have to use anything else. You just use that. And same thing with this 1000. If you want to finish out at 1000, but I go to a 4000 or 4500 Menzerna, and this stuff works really good. It's a little cheaper than this is, and they both kind of have the same type of thing. The thing that's cool about the CSI is it even leaves less residue. The issue with a lot of the people that use the 3M stuff, you know, you use the Super Duty rubbing compound or whatever it's called now, I don't know. I think it's all called Finesse It, you know. So you use that stuff and it's almost like, I heard guys say, it's like concrete trying to get it out of your door jambs, and that is absolutely true. This one here is the easiest one to, if you get this inside your door jambs and stuff, it just rinses off so easy with water. It doesn't leave a residue, it doesn't leave concrete. This one leaves a little bit more, but it's way easier to get off. You know, I just use like a little stiff brush and some water, and it'll get out of the cracks and crevices pretty well. It's so much easier to clean off. And not only that, they both polish way better and faster than the old 3M stuff I don't use anymore. I you know, 3M shouldn't be getting that much money, especially after the coronavirus issue, you know, with the masks. Come on, cough them up, guys. Don't give them to the other countries. Honestly, the president wouldn't have had to approach me about making masks. I would approach them. You know, why didn't they do it? They're like, oh well, they, you know, come on. Why didn't they say, hey, we got the facility for this. Let's contact the people at the president's office and get it done. Instead, they had to go use the Defense Act. Crazy. But anyway, I don't stop using it because of that. I stopped using it because this stuff is just plain better. So anyway, a lot of guys won't use this stuff. They'll only want to use the DA with the foam. I use it flat, and what it does is just knocks down the orange peel really quickly. It's like using a flat block, and it's like using a flat block, and it's just super fast to sand down orange peel or dirt or anything. It just takes it down like right now. With the 1500, I use a squirt bottle. This is water that's in here. Unfortunately, all of them are gone right now. I went to get a new water bottle because of my other one. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe it's got some kind of sort of disinfectant in it now. Probably. And so I had to go down and get to the dollar store and get some of this. That's just water in there. So what I do is, rather than run the hose all day, some guys have seen to do that, especially on a vertical panel. How are you going to do that, right? I just squirt it down with hose, with the water. And then I get my DA and I color sand that until it's drying up a little bit. Then I keep adding more water. Do it with this. I'll have you guys watching over here and beside me in a hyperlapse, and then you guys can see it happen very quickly versus sitting here and watching me for hours trying to do this, right? That'd be a lot more fun. With some music maybe? Okay, I thought so. Okay, so I'm going to get busy doing this, and I'm just going to start sanding the side here. And the fortunate part is the doors, the deck lid, and the what's it called, hatch, were painted off the, you know, not on the hot day. So all I got to do is from here around to the other side, basically from here to the back on both sides. You know, so it shouldn't be that bad as far as, you know, some of this is pretty smooth. Like this side came out really smooth. The other side's kind of a heavy, like almost dry orange peel. It looks terrible to me. But like I said, when it's 100 and 20, then the panel is 120 degrees. This is reality. This is what, you guys may run into when you're painting yours, and, it's fixable. It's just, like I said, it's kind of a bummer. I wanted to show like a really nice smooth paint job before we even buffed it, but it just didn't work out that way. So anyway, we'll get busy on this. I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
All right, so you guys want a teaser? Figured so. Thought you might. What I think I'm going to do is I cut a corner and I want to see if it's going to work. Versus going normally like in a dark color, I'll go to from the 1200, which I really like. I said I like 1500 a little bit better. 1200 is a little bit, I don't know, either one. You can use either one. I've done it this way and it comes out really nice. The Mustang was done with 1200. Then I go back to 1000, and what I do is, the reason I do that at the Abralon 1000, just to cut out the chasers, because it does it a lot better than the 2000 does. But since this is a light color, I'm going to try and do a sample here, and we'll see if it looks good enough without going back to the 1000. On this light of a color, it might be just fine. And why do all the extra work if I don't need to? Especially with a light color. If I can see no difference, there's really no point in doing the work, right? Makes sense. So we'll do a little sample here. Check it out. I'll do a little bit in slow and regular motion so you can see how I buff, and then we'll do some in hyperlapse so you don't have to watch the whole thing. And then we'll come back and forth a little bit, and then we'll take a look at it. What do you think? Let's start out with Mazurna 1000. All right, here we go. Let's see. A little bit on the pad. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. It's really, I don't know, a little crusty. like it's got a little crusty stuff at the top there. It's been a little while since I've left something, I think. The last time I used this thing. Been a while. Green car? Last year? I think so. Let me set my RPM. I usually start out about, usually like about 1300. Somewhere in there. I start out with it. This is like a really slow. You can just. Depends on what I'm buffing, you know, sometimes I'll come down to even 600. I'm more on the edges and stuff like that. Start out a little slow and then work my way up. Just to get this, I want to get the stuff into the pad. Go. That's all I gotta say. That's really nice clear. It's called, you might as well say it's like putting on like high house paint. Covers everything. So I start out with the lamb's wool, and then I go to foam after. The lamb's wool cuts so much faster. It takes a little bit of practice to work with the lamb's wool, I think. Oh wow, that looks super good. Okay, so it's gonna take me a while though. I'm gonna be on this thing for, I mean, literally buffing. I could usually spend a whole day on just the lower part without doing the roof, at least just buffing. So I'm gonna speed it up a little for you guys, bring you guys back in at the end here. So we'll crank up some tunes for a second. guys ready for me to wipe this down once? Let me show you what I used again. I don't know if this is 4,000 or 4,500. I think this is, yeah, 4,500 Manzurna for the final, and then I just used my foam pad. That's a CSI self-centering pad. So I used the self-centering pad system from CSI. Oh, why is my camera not focusing? How's that? The CSI self-centering pad system they have. Where's my other one at? That one there. Autofocus. It's not in the mood. CSI. So that's a really good pad. See how crappy it looks right now? Wait till I do wipe it down. So I don't use glaze, and this still needs probably good another run. You know, I usually do it a couple times, and then I don't use any glaze, because glaze, as soon as it wears off, you wash it, something like that, it just looks like crap again. So this is all polished with that compound. This is Tamco's clear. Still got to get all the edges pretty good up there. Looks kind of a little rough. But, you know, I mean, I'm not going to get every little thing clean. Let me clean this up a little bit more and I'll show you. I'll let you watch me wipe it down so you don't think I do any fast ones with the camera on. Everything's, almost all my videos are done. There's something I call pause edit. So I don't have that much editing that I have to do, because I don't have really that much time to edit. Then I have an editor on my phone that I just do clip stacking, really simple editing that I do. But I'm trying to, what the focus is now to try and get the shots in order, you know, the way I want them, so that you guys can see the whole process. And that's what I've been working on the last, I guess, what, 6 months now. And you've seen the music stuff come on and all that stuff. I hope everybody likes that. So, I mean, some people are like, oh, why rap, you know, or something. You know, I just find stuff that I think is fun and moving. You know, sometimes it's going to be country, sometimes it'll be rap. It depends on what they have for free that's good. You know, if it's terrible music, I don't like, you know, trying not to get into that stuff. But anyway, does that look any better? Anybody notice? I don't know, I'm just wiping it off, so just trying to get all the polish off. And I know there's some spots in there. Okay, it's hot outside. I'll open the garage door. I have no idea what it's going to look like. What's that look like? Any better? Anybody notice the difference in the paint there? Probably could use one more time. I'm sure I'll have some spots where I missed, like right here. I can actually see chasers in it a little bit, so it definitely needs more polishing. I don't know if I'm going to sand it again with the finer ones, but I can definitely get all that out, no problem. It's just, you know, if I go back to the 1,000, then I go back to 2,000, I know for sure it'll come out, but I think I can get it out with just polishing it. I think I just didn't do very good right in that area, but it's hard to tell in the camera, right? You guys can't see everything. But anyway, even if I didn't do that, I mean, shoot, it looks pretty good. And it was not, you know, it's pretty orange peely and stuff. With this color, it's not going to matter that much. That's why, like I said, I wasn't really that worried about it. You know, let's look at the other side. I had some seedy stuff in it. You see those little dots everywhere? That was in my sealer. And look at how dry that is. If you can even see it. That'll be gone when I polish it. It's really dry coated. I think when I painted it was, you know, like I said, the panels were 120 degrees. And either it dried too much in some places and didn't dry enough in some others. So that's probably why I got runs. And I shot it very even. That's why it was kind of weird. But anyway, The roof I could keep a wet edge on. The sides it was just too much. It was just too much area, surface area to paint. So, and this looks good already. I don't know, I didn't even do much to that, but I'll still polish it. Just run through. Maybe I'll just do the nibs with the stuff, and then I'll do the whole thing with 2000, something like that. But you can see, I mean, this clear really shines. This really shines. This is the Tamco's high solid, so it really shines. And if I spent, you know, like you can see a little bit of fluttery peel there. If I wanted to, I could get that a little bit better. That's what one of the reasons I like to spray it smoother is because if it was a darker color, that would show up a little bit more. And then you want to use that good gun. And I probably, like if I was doing the red, I don't think I would have done the dark red in this weather. I think it would have been a problem. Or maybe I would have masked off half of it and done half of it, because I think I keep a wet edge on half. But I think I think what happened, like I said, it got past the, it got to the point where it's at a fingerprint, and that's too dry, and then trying to re-wet it from there, you either push orange peel in it or dry spot it, one or the other, you know, or it runs, trying to push, you know, get the orange peel to go away. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for that part. We'll come back in a little bit. Quick bodywork check. Everybody know that's a fab corner. Welded in a new panel there. Filler all over that panel. You can see it a little bit, just a little bit. And it looks alright though. Yeah, it needs another polish, I can tell. There's stuff in there, clouds in it still. Just need to work on it. You know, it's gonna take a few hours. I just need a kid to do this for me. I hate buffing. This is like terribly hard to do for me. Just so much physical work. So anyway, I'd rather weld the floors in. I don't know, that's hard too, but this is, I don't know, it's just time consuming. Alright, so I switched to the Mizurna 400 instead of the 1000. Let's look at that. Mizurna 400. I switched to this, and it actually, on the Tamco Clear, it actually works a little bit better than the other 1000 even. Yeah, it's a little bit faster to cut it. I still got like right there, if you can see that little spot. I haven't done that very edge. Let me just hit that real quick, and then let's see if it goes away. It just took that right out. So it's a little bit faster for this, for the Tamco. For the other clear I was using, the 1000, I thought worked a little bit better. Well, it was a little bit, wasn't as fast to cut, but it left a little bit of swirl. This stuff, it just, you could actually do like a 1-cut buff with this, you know. You could probably use 400 and not do anything else, and it'd be, you know, and then use a foam pad and it'd look acceptable. But when you put the 4500 on after that, man, it really shines. I mean, it just, I don't know, it just kind of looks just a little bit better, but very little. But it's enough to do it, you know. So I use the 4000 or 4500, either one. So anyway, I'm going to continue sanding here, and we'll, I think on the doors I might just do the 2000 only, because they were pretty smooth. I don't know, I'll look at them. And then on this door and this, I'm going to do the 2000 and the 1200. So you got to get the orange peel down a little bit. And the same on the other side. Right, so I did this panel here one more time. This one on this side. And you can really see that it's pretty smooth. I mean, there's just a slight, there's still orange peel in it, a little bit. But you can't really, it's fine for this color. It's very smooth still. So I can get it, I'm gonna get it better than that, but I'm not gonna go any more than this right here, because this color is gonna be fine with that. Thank goodness it wasn't a dark color. Let's look at it in the light. I don't know if you can even see. Yeah, it's pretty smooth. But yeah, that's fine. And then down here I did, well, one more time too. Of course you can see that that doesn't have any orange peel. I sanded this a little bit more down below. Up there I just whipped over it once, which is really all it needed. And then down here I sanded just a little bit more. So if you do a little bit more, you can get more if you want to do it that way. Get it really perfect. You know, I could go and sand even down to the corners and sand all that stuff. I usually sand about to about right here. I don't want to try and polish on that edge. You can. I mean, I've seen guys, they sand all the way up to here, all the way in there, and all the way over there. They just sit there and play with it and polish it and polish it. With these, some of these high solids clears, you can do that and still get, you know, it won't buff through very easily. So it all depends on, like I said, what you're looking for. I'm just looking for a decent shine. Yeah, I love that fab corner, right? Fabricated corners. Anyway, I'm going to do a little more polishing here. Then what I'll probably do is I'll have you guys look at most of it when it's done. Look at it outside maybe. And we'll go from there.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
Right, just a couple more things I wanted to say. If you guys were looking at the Menzerna polish, you notice it's not all over me. It doesn't fling like the other ones do, like 3M. 3M, it's like everywhere. What's on the ground right now is mostly from color sanding. And there's even that over there, that's from color sanding on the tire. It's not all, if you can see, it's not all over me. So that's another thing that's really nice about the Menzerna versus the 3M. This is just the, I think I was using mostly the 400 and the 1000. And you could literally just use the 400 and have almost a one-step finish. You know, that's you know how shiny it looks with that's just with 1000 and 400 and 1000. And that's not, you know, I'm using a little bit of 400 to start. I'm using the same pad that's still the lamb's wool. I haven't even got the foam pad out yet. And when I get the foam pad out and then I use the 4000 or 4500, the purpley stuff, then it even gets a little bit shinier. Not much, but it just, like when it's in the sun, you won't see those little bitty tiny micro swirls. But you won't even hardly see it with this. If you use this in the foam pad, you could probably do that and it'd be acceptable for most people. But I'm going to go ahead and use the purple anyway, because it does a little bit. Well, there's a few waves in it if you notice here. We'll look at it. You can kind of see them at an angle. And a little bit. In the quarter panel mostly, you can see in the second door over, it's got a little spot in there I knew was going to show up, but it really doesn't look bad at all. You know, it's going to look really nice. The long panel shouldn't even have that much in it. And like I said, I used about, you know, one of those little square 4-inch, 6-inch block, whatever there, little bitty thing. And that was after, you know, hitting it with the DA, doing most of the work with the DA. I just brushed over it real fast with that, and then that's it. So turns out pretty good that way. You know, it's not the same as doing, you know, the super fine micro, you know, doing 600 grit and all the other stuff. But man, it sure is a lot faster, and it comes out, I'd say 90% is nice, and a lot less time. So anyway, I'll go ahead and end this video here, and we'll bring you guys back in on another part of this. We're going to be doing the assembly tomorrow, and then we'll get on that. And I got to go pick up some parts to finish that. To finish what we can. I don't know if we're even going to be able to get the back window in, but I'm trying to get, you know, as much as we can assembled, and I'll finish polishing everything. I don't know if I'll get that all in the next video, but man, this is a lot of time polishing this thing. Hours and hours it takes, and it's vertical. I have to stop and rest because it's just vertical, and your arms are pushing upward all the time. You can't lean on the panel, you know, it's just like straight up and down. You know, it's just the buffer's always working against you when it's all vertical stuff. So anyway, I'll talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.